In a lush and blooming forest lived a little bee named Lila with her family. From the very beginning, she was famous for her wisdom, hard work, and ability to collect nectar faster than anyone else. But over time, something began to change in her heart. Every time she saw a graceful running doe, she thought, "Look at his grace. Everyone admires it. Why does no one notice me?" Seeing a freely flying caliber, she sighed, "Oh, if only I could flutter so easily. Why do I only buzz?" Even a squirrel, deftly climbing trees for nuts, made her envious. Gradually, her heart filled with bitterness. She lost interest in her work. The bee that once brought honey first now lagged behind, absent-minded and gloomy. Others asked, "Why do you look so sad lately?" But Lila only smiled weakly and remained silent. One day, a violent storm with torrential rain hit the forest. The trees bent, the rivers overflowed their banks, and many animals lost their shelter. The squirrel's coat was soaked through, and she could no longer climb the trees so nimbly. The tree where the doe was hiding collapsed, leaving her shivering on the ground. Even the calibri's bright feathers were wet, and she could not fly. The forest was in chaos, but deep inside the hive, Lila's bees were safe. Their honeycombs were protected from the storm. Seeing the suffering around her, Lila felt a prick in her heart. I wasted my time envying others. But today they are in trouble. Can I help? At that moment, she made a decision. Lila gathered the bees and said, "We must help others. Together, we will save them." Hundreds of bees lined up. Some carefully carried the colibri to a dry place. Others wove a bed of grass for the shivering doe. Still others shook the water from the squirrel's coat so she could climb a tree again. The animals were stunned. How could such tiny creatures have such big hearts? When the storm died down and the sun shone, the colibri, the squirrel, and the doe came to thank Lila. Colibri said, "I have never seen a more beautiful being than you." The squirrel whispered, "Today I learned that strength is not in agility, but in service." The doe smiled, "You do not gallop as gracefully as I do, but you have saved us all. That makes you great." For the first time, Lila felt proud of who she was. She realized that she was more valuable than she thought. From that day on, Lila stopped comparing herself to others. She realized that each creature has its own unique purpose. Envy blinds us to our own worth. We spend our days coveting what is not ours, forgetting the gifts within us. But true greatness is found in kindness, service, and the courage to use what we have for the good of others. Being small is not a weakness. A big heart makes the smallest the greatest. If this story was a lesson for you, like it and share it with someone who needs it. Write in the comments where you are watching from. We would love to know.